YouTube babies. So how you doing, buddy?
Doing all right.
Anything good happened this weekend?
Um, no, not really.
Yeah,
It
I
was a
feel
pretty
that.
chill weekend.
Yeah,
I did play, so everyone's on this new Pokemon card game app. Have you heard about the new one?
no.
It's just like the actual you play the card game.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be a port of the Game Boy Color game, which I own, but it's not. Um, but it's like every 12 hours you can open a pack and
Oh, okay.
you can purchase stuff to make that timer go down a lot quicker and stuff like that. I have not and will not put any money into it. Um, but it's fun looking at all the cards and stuff. So anyway, I got that on Friday or Saturday, and then I thought I kind of want to play the old Game Boy Color game. So I played a shit ton of that over the weekend.
Nice.
I've got a pretty cool deck that I'm liking, and I've beaten like three or four of the eight. They're not gym leaders. They're called masters in this game.
They're
Uh,
card shop owners.
yeah, exactly. So
They all have
anyway, it's been
fedoras.
fun.
Dude, that kind of like two things. That makes me think of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because there was a game that's still on the App Store, and I've tried to play a bunch, and it's so fucking terrible. Like just the operating system is, but it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card game,
hmm
basically. And it like it's for me, it's damn near unplayable. That's kind of how it sounds like the Yu-Gi-Oh card games become. Like people will be like,
hmm
I play this card, then I special summon, like I'll do it. I'm like, this is not what I remember from the from my when I was in sixth grade. Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
But
I
it's also had the Game Boy Advance game, and this is just kind of funny because like I didn't know like it starts off you could battle Yugi, but not like Pharaoh Yugi, just regular Yugi, Joey, Tristan, um, the kid with the pink hair that also had like his own Pharaoh, but he was evil, and then the girl.
yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, but it was like you could battle them. And so like you had to beat them all 10 times a piece. And I didn't know that. So I was just like, I'm just gonna keep beating Yugi so I know I'm that good. It's like I ended up having like 100 wins on Yugi.
Holy
And I was like,
shit.
yeah, I was like, how do I move on? And then I found out you had to beat them all just 10 times. I'm like, oh, sorry, Yugi.
Siegfried, was that his name?
I don't
Did he have
think.
long pink hair?
Yeah, it was like, but I thought it was like Bakura or something like that. But maybe as the American dub changed his name too, like they did for Rurouni Kenshin and
Uh,
Sailor Moon and
I think
Gaming.
Bakura just had white hair.
That's what I meant, like a whitish pink, I thought.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, it was Bakura.
Casey's colorblind.
Yeah, I'm sure the Pokemon's probably the same where it's like so different nowadays, but I like the fairly simple rules of what they fit into this Game Boy game.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And like the card art's pretty dope. Like they did their best with pixel art, making them look like the original sets.
Yeah.
And I think it holds up today. Like the standard gameplay where you're like walking through uh the different type clubs, like there's a rock club and a fire club.
hmm
That's a little basic, but the game came out in 1998, so what are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
Dude, like that's one of the things. Like I've never just in general with Pokemon cards, because like I didn't really look at them that much when I was a kid. I was never really into the Pokemon cards. I was like, no, thank you. Make me a game that's just cards. And they're like, here's Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, oh, perfect. But but no, like when you were at C2 and like some of those cards look awesome now too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
legit, like super cool stuff. But
Yep, they've I'm hoping that there's a lot of card people this next year too, because I got
mm,
some good ones last time we went, and there's still plenty more on the wish list, but
Yeah. I bet there will be because it seems like all the trading card stuff is blowing up again. So I
mhm,
think for sure you'll get a good bit this time around too.
yeah. It's just
Uh,
fun. I mean, it's
mhm.
something Brielle and I like to do together, get a box, crack open the pack, see what we get. It's a good time.
Dude, I mean, I don't do it very often just because it's like they're getting expensive, but I do love NBA. I get NBA cards, you know.
Hmm.
I think that's cool as hell.
Yeah.
So, but um speaking of Pokemon too, there's this meme I saw because like I've been getting a lot of Alex Jones memes, like the InfoWars guys, you know. And there's one where it's like 10-year-old me the first time I beat Team Rocket, and he's like, you'll never like stop my the goodness and blah blah blah, like just does this big rant. It's so fun. Like it just fucking kills me. It's so funny.
Dude, talk about somebody that's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
He has
Like
so many good memes, but he's being serious.
yeah, that's the like it's one of those things where it's like that's insane that he's that crazy, but at the same time, respect. Like he clearly believes the bullshit he's peddling. Like it's always annoying when there's people that are just doing it to make money. Him, he believes it.
Hmm. There's
Which is,
something in the water turning all the frogs gay, for sure.
there's there's one of those memes where it was it's like my mom, why don't you go outside and play with the neighbor kid? The neighbor kid, yeah, let's just fuck a possum and let's
Oh shit. That's funny. All right. Monday Night Football game has not started. We're recording a little earlier today, but it's going to be a fucking great game, I think. We've got the Baltimore Ravens at the LA Chargers.
really quick. Um, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'd be blindsided if they lost.
I'm also going Ravens. Chargers have a good record. They're like maybe one less win, but the Ravens are just so good. So, gonna go with the Ravens. Okay. Shall we do our episode?
Let's do it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the turkey to my mashed potatoes. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
I, read a lot of comics today. I'm excited to talk about them.
Hell yeah, man. It was a much better week than last week, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so too. But before we do that, how about some trivia?
Ooh.
I just dropped my pen on the floor.
Uh-oh.
Uh, okay, so there are, at least on the first page, there's seven. Yeah, maybe every page is seven. So today we're going to do four questions instead of three. First question. This one, a quick Google. I could not find the answer.
Okay.
So which of the following is not an alternate identity of the sinister time traveler Pharaoh Rama Tut? Immortus, Kang the Conqueror, Zarko the Tomorrow Man, and the Scarlet Centurion.
I'm gonna go Zarko. I'm gonna Google that though, just to be
Yeah. I wasn't gonna Google like each option just to see what came up,
well,
but
sometimes you can go on to like Wikipedia or any of those wikis and they'll actually give like their other names.
yeah,
Okay,
I
so
tried.
okay, Kang the Conqueror, Ramatut, Immortus, Scarlet Centurion, Victor Timely, Iron Lad, and Mr. Griffin are
Okay.
all King the Conqueror's
Well, there you
other
go.
titles. So which
Zarko.
one did I say Zarko? Oh, sweet.
I think, didn't you?
I mean, let's go with it. I'll take that point.
I mean, it was 30 seconds ago and we don't
Yeah.
remember, but anyway. Um, all right. Which of the following characters was not a member of a substitute Fantastic Four team that included Spider-Man? So let's say this. Can you just name Spider-Man's Fantastic Four team?
Yeah. So it'd be Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Mr. Fix-It. Joe Fix-It.
Correct. Correct. Uh, so
And
therefore, the answer in this particular set of options is the Punisher.
now I've told you about the What If comic that I had that was like, what if the new Fantastic Four stayed together? Did I tell you about that one?
I know we've talked about it.
Okay, because it's just basically like they'll all die except for Spider-Man.
Man, like I like the Fantastic Four, but that team's cooler.
It's cooler, but the whole point of that issue is like they're not a family, so they wouldn't have worked. But I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, I still don't know about that."
All right, next question. What is Fantastic Four's mailman, Willie Lumpkin's supposed superpower? I can read you options if you
Yeah,
don't
read
know
me some
offhand.
options because I don't know this one.
Simultaneously patting his head and rubbing his tummy, twitching his nose, wiggling his ears, and delivering the mail despite rain, sleet, hail, or snow.
Part of me thinks it's wiggling his nose.
No, it's wiggling his ears.
I knew it was wiggling something. I can wiggle my ears. That's a
Can you?
yeah.
Let's see it. Take off the
Okay.
cans.
I mean, I don't think you can see it since it's.
I can a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like alfalfa. I don't do the flying way, but they move
Hmm.
up and down.
Nice. Fun fact, the Willie Lumpkin was one of the Stan Lee cameos when he
Hmm.
was the mailman. So I don't know if he was credited as such,
I don't he probably was.
but anyway,
But wasn't he like a
final
different cameo? Wasn't he like no, he wasn't that was in Iron Man 2, but wasn't he a different cameo in Rise of the Silver Surfer though?
probably. I really don't remember that movie though.
Like I remember it. I remember like bits and pieces, but it's more like I remember it like YouTube shorts, even though my YouTube hasn't got to that yet. But that's how I like
Hmm.
more remember it, just like little like clips throughout.
Yeah. All right. Final question. Which Fantastic Four enemy is also the blind Alicia Masters' stepfather?
The old Puppet Master.
It is Puppet Master. Nice job, man.
That was only three though, wasn't it?
Nope.
Oh.
Rama Tut, Fantastic Four, Willie Lumpkin, and Alicia
Oh
Masters.
yeah, I forgot about the second one.
Yep. All right. Well, you crushed it today, man.
Hell yeah. I guess Hallie gets to live.
Oh, whoa. Didn't know that was on the line. All right. Let's talk about some news, huh?
Let's do it.
All right. So, apparently it's all but confirmed that Dan Slott is going to write a Superman book in 2025. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I probably wouldn't check it out, but I think it's gonna be I think people it's gonna sell well. I think it's people are gonna like it a lot. And it's also gonna be good for Dan to get away from spider books.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I would check it out. I really have only liked one thing of his that I've read.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I mean, some people switch from the big two and or between the big two and have really successful careers, so or continuing careers, I should
Yeah.
say. Um, yeah, okay. Your turn.
Yeah. So for some Superman news, we're probably the way that people are reporting on it is that we're probably going to be getting the Superman trailer in December. And it's like the obvious choice is it's going to get attached to the Mufasa movie, so it's like gives people a reason to watch that movie, even though I have a feeling the trailer will be out the day before. So it's like, well, why even like worry about attaching it to whatever movie, you know?
Yeah. Did they? I didn't realize that they strategically placed trailers like that. I just figured they'd throw it in whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I kind
I
of
mean,
knew
you're
they.
not going to do Saw in front of a kids movie, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it like I've heard that before with like the superhero, just superhero movies in general, where they'll strategically place it before other superhero movies, but that's really the only thing I've ever heard that with. But
okay.
so we see Mufasa on the day of, so we could, see the trailer for Superman.
Oh, dude, that's not a movie that I think I need to see personally.
Why?
Well, I just,
It's CGI kitty cats.
I know, but Lion King lore, I'm a lore slut for sure. I just don't know that I need Lion King lore.
Especially not the new in quotes live action universe. That was the dumbest
Yeah,
thing. It's like, ah, yes, this all CGI movie. It's 100% CGI, nothing live action about it. We're calling it the live action version. It's
yeah,
like, no, no, it's a worse animated sequel or a remake.
yeah. I would rather it just be traditionally animated,
hmm
but
Though anymore, the traditional animation kind of sucks because they don't have slave hours for the people to be working.
yeah, fair enough. Okay. So Star Wars Vision Season 3 was confirmed this week. They're adding 5 new anime studios for the project. Um, I, I they listed the anime studios, but I didn't really put any of them
Yeah.
together with something we may have seen, and it wasn't that big of a deal, I think. But anyway, I haven't seen Star Wars Visions. I heard it's really good. I'm sure people will be excited for that.
hmm So, no season two of the Netflix Scott Pilgrim show. I don't know if you watched the first season.
I
I
did
tried.
not.
I couldn't get into it, but I know my nephew
You
really
like the
liked it.
movie though, right?
Oh, I love the movie.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, it's just like this is kind of like a sequel, the West or like sequel to the comic, I think, more than the movies. But and it, like we talked about before, I don't really like Scott in that in that series. I
Hmm.
still wasn't a fan, and it's also just
That
a lot
was
of
the one they got everybody back for, right?
yep.
Okay,
And it was like weird time travel stuff. It was just like all over the place, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling this personally.
gotcha. Um, okay, this was a weird one, but during an interview at something, uh, Daniel Craig mentioned that he and the director that he is working with for his latest movie are wanting to do a Sergeant Rock movie for the DCU. And I don't really hate that casting that much.
No, my only like knock on it is the fact that it's like, yeah, that would be pretty sweet. We don't fucking need a Sergeant Rock movie yet. We need Batman, Superman,
Hmm.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And, Daniel Craig saying he wants to do one really doesn't mean anything. It's just
Yet
to get people talking in hopes that, James Gunn will do it. But
the only thing is like Daniel Craig saying he wants to do that. That's a lot more than like I'm trying to think of like did Zachary Levi being like I want to do another Shazam. Like Daniel Craig is more A-list, and him just saying that will get people writing a Sergeant Rock script. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
See, they need to do like on HBO Max, DC Showcase show where it's like they could do like an hour long Sergeant Rock show,
Hmm.
and then be like, oh, this is just a one off, and then we'll do you know whoever for the next episode.
And how sick would it be though? Like a band of brothers, but with Sergeant Rock.
It's
Like,
sweet as hell, man. All right, my last bit of news. Alan Tudyk is going to be the voice of Clayface in the Howling Commandos. So, and then like there's talks of him actually playing a character in the Superman movie. I bet he's gonna be Parasite in that because he's probably just doing voiceover work for the James Gunn DCU. So we'll see how many characters he plays. But yeah, he's gonna be officially the voice of Clayface, which I love Alan Tudyk, but I don't know if I like him as Clayface, mostly because, and it's I'm very skewed on this. My voice, the voice for Clayface is the one that was the voice in the animated series, and Alan doesn't have a voice like that, you know?
Hmm.
But since, as I've talked about like 1,000 times on here, there's I think 5 different Clayfaces, and none of them were like the one in the animated series. Like that one's an amalgamation, so it's like, yeah, do whatever.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I like him a lot. I like his voice too. I agree that it is a lot different, but I'm willing to hear what that sounds like, you know?
Yeah,
All right, and then my last bit of news. Marvel is doing a Predator versus Spider-Man miniseries in 2025. It's by Benjamin Percy and Marcelo Ferreira. I don't know if Ferreira was the artist for the Predator versus Black Panther that's happening, but sounds like Percy is going to get to do a whole slew of Predator versus series so that
yeah,
Marvel can keep the rights. But I think people dig those series, so good for him.
yeah. I hope there's at least one part where Spider-Man tells the Predator, like, well, why don't you take a seat? Like to catch a predator.
Okay. I didn't get that, but that would be pretty damn funny.
Do the whole Chris Hansen thing. I mean, maybe that's more Deadpool than Spider-Man. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
but still. Let us know down below. Do you want Spider-Man to catch a predator?
All right, man. That's it for the
Yep.
news.
So what did you read this week?
I read Ninja Turtles and Naruto #1, Question All Along the Watchtower #1, Dark Knights of Steel All Winter #5, Minor Arcana #3, Batman and Robin Year 1 #2, Daredevil #15, Batman Full Moon #2, Wolverine #3, The Moon is Following This #3, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu #2, Godzilla Rivals King Ghidorah vs. Space Godzilla, and Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles 30th Anniversary Special.
You got a few more than me this time, man.
Big week for me.
Yeah. So my one non-Muchi that I read this week is Godzilla Skate or Die, issue 5. Then Godzilla Rivals King Ghidorah versus Space Godzilla. Minor Arcana, issue 3. The Question, All Along the Watchtower, issue 1. The Moon is Following Us, issue 3. Batman and Robin, year 1, issue 2. Wolverine Hunted by Department H, issue 3. Daredevil, issue 15. Somebody wasn't prepared, taking their comics out during the chaos.
Yeah, well, sue me. You want a new partner?
Well, glad that you asked. Get in here.
That would be crazy. You just have him waiting every week for this to happen.
But yeah, it's been awkward.
Sorry, man. Come back next week. He didn't forget to take his comics out this time.
No, it's some guy tied up in my basement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Even better.
like get back down there.
All right, Dark Knights of Steel, All Winter, number, what did I say, 5 by Jay Kristoff and Terso. This book was pretty cool. Uh, Deathstroke wakes up and he's in the uh, little hideout of his old pal Wintergreen. And yeah, basically, Wintergreen is like, I want to tunnel underneath the city and go kill Victor Freeze so that we can put an end to the All Winter. And Deathstroke's like, cool, I'm in. And then they go and recruit Ravager and save the kid that she stole from him. And yeah, they all agree that they're going to do that, and that's how it ends. And then the backup is by Tom Taylor and Riccardo Federici, and it's cool. It's just about the Kents raising the Aquaman of this whatever universe. And then at the end, it says Arthur will return to Dark Knights of Steel in 2025. So apparently they're planning more Dark Knights of Steel, which is awesome. So yeah, it was good. I liked both the backup and the regular stuff. Story's good. Art's incredible for both. So I got to give it a 9 out of 10.
Right on, dude. Do you want me to do my one or do you?
I'm just not used to having more than you, so
Fair enough.
I'll do another one.
Okay.
All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Naruto #1. It's by Caleb Golner with art by Hendry Presetia. And yeah, so April is just in the Hidden Leaf Village and she's a reporter and she is just kind of talking to Team 7, which is uh Kakashi's team. Kakashi is the teacher for Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. So this is very much like early Naruto days. Um
Yeah,
yeah.
because okay, really quick, because he became just Sasuke's teacher, right? And then Naruto got the frog dude as his like teacher guy.
Yeah, kind of. Like kind of. Naruto, like everyone realized, oh, Naruto's like hella fucking powerful. We're gonna send him to the Sage. And then Kakashi was just trying to help Sasuke not be a little bitch.
Okay.
And taught him like his signature move, which was cool. But yeah, reading this is just like, yep, I even hate comic Sasuke. He's just so unlikable.
Yeah.
If someone says Sasuke is their favorite character in Naruto, they're a serial killer, just so you know.
That's how I feel about people that really love Bakugo for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, don't get it.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking dick. There's
Like
no likable, redeemable qualities.
it's like after the whole series, I'm like, okay, I guess he's not the worst character on the show anymore. Like that's about where I'm at with them.
Who's worse?
I mean, because he grow like he actually gets like character development as the show goes on. So you're like, oh, he's a douche, but he's not like a straight up bully trying,
Hmm.
and All for One is probably worse. The
Gotcha.
villains.
Right. Uh, so yeah, um, some Foot Clan show up and like Team 7 goes to start to fight them, but then the Turtles and Splinter show up. They're all wearing masks, so you can't tell who they are or what they are. Um, but anyway, they all take out the Foot Clan and they, of course, have to fight each other because it's a crossover comic. And like the art's so fucking killer in this book. The action scenes are great. Um, you know, they really do just look like their manga or anime selves in this. And it all basically comes to a stalemate. And Kakashi says to Splinter, "It's good to see you again, Hamato Yoshi." And then it says to be continued. So guess we'll find out where they would have met before this. But I just kind of wish I'd know why any of it's happening. You know, like there's
Hmm.
not a big portal where they go through or anything like that. It's just like they're all here together.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen okay, so Marvel and DC had some crossovers that were like that, where it's just like, yeah, no, this is I'm just in this universe, you're just in this universe, and then there's
Yeah.
other ones where they have actual reasons for it to be crossing over, you know? So it's like
Sure.
I get I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like part of me is just like if you can just drop in and be like, oh, nope, the turtles just live in this universe. Okay. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I get that.
I guess I'm just the ones that I've read, there's been an explanation. So now if
Yeah.
there's not, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, no,
But
I get
it's not
that.
like it, I'm not docking any points or anything for it. Um, but no, it was totally fun. And I'll pick up the next one too, especially because the next one shows, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but it shows Donnie and Naruto when he's in his sage form. And
Nice.
I think that'll be super cool. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, a lot of fun. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
My main problem with those type of things though, it's like I always try to like find the spot where it would take place continuity wise. And so then I'd be like, wait, how is he in this sage form? He hasn't met with the old pervert yet, you know?
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think it works here because he goes into that form too when he just loses all control. Like
I
he's so
gotcha.
pissed off at Sasuke that I'm totally blanking on the fox's name. Oh my God, it's like I haven't watched
Vulpix.
500 episodes. My God, I gotta Google it. Kurama, that's who it is, Kurama. But anyway, Kurama takes over and he goes like that. But anyway, it's just cool. It's just a
Yeah,
cool crossover.
yeah. No, I get you, man. All right, I'll do my one non-Muchi. So
Okay.
Godzilla Skater Die issue 5. This is by Louis Joyce. And yeah, I mean, this is good art. They're doing their skateboarding stuff. They're at the military base and they escape. And one of the kids, he's like that touched the meteorite last issue. He realized what's going on, that, you know, Varen's been powered up by the meteorite and he's able to beat up on Godzilla and they're trying to help Godzilla out, you know, and all that type of stuff. And it was pretty funny. This guy, like, they're trying to escape. The government guys are chasing after them. And then they're like, he's like, Damo, look, there's a radiation leak in the lower levels. We're working to contain it. Like he didn't get the memo that they're supposed to be out of here. It's like, this elevator will take you all up to the ground level. Get out of here. Those monsters are still up there. It's like, I work here, always have. If we make it through this, remind me to send you some of the coin toss skate vids I've been making out of the security footage. They're pretty sick.
That's great.
And so yeah, they decide to help Godzilla and they do and you know, it's pretty cool. Like I mean the way they help Godzilla is dumb because like Godzilla and Varen are going at it and then the kid shoots fireworks at Varen and it's like enough to distract Varen that Godzilla can win. But the way Godzilla beats him, he shoots him all the way into outer space.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
So it was
Arts remains awesome.
yeah, the art's amazing. I love it. I could get like if someone's like, I didn't really like it. I'm like, fair enough, it's different, but I really enjoy it, and it also feels like he's left it wide open, so like he could make a sequel if he wanted. I mean, no Varen, of course, but he could make a sequel pretty easy if he wanted to. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I loved it. Probably gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
In the series.
Probably a 9.59 in that area. It was really, really
Cool.
good. Highly recommend.
I'll probably check out the trade.
Yeah.
All right. The Knuckles anniversary special. It's by Ian Flynn with art by Aaron Hammerstrom. And yeah, so not like Angel Island is floating over the North Star Islands, uh, which was part of the Sonic Superstars game. And Knuckles remembers that there's a girl down there named Trip who's the guardian of that island, and he was like, "Well, I'm a pretty awesome guardian. I should go down there and train her to be an awesome guardian for her people." And basically, the whole thing is him realizing he's maybe not the greatest thing ever, like he thinks he is, and
Mhm.
he actually learns that he still has plenty to learn. So, uh, it was just a good, wholesome issue. He becomes friends with the Guardian kid, and then at the end goes back to the island. It was fun. My only problem with this book is that, let's see here, five front to back pages are just ads post story.
That's IDW does that shit all the time.
Yeah. Now, I do like that it's at the end and not
Hmm.
throughout the book, but still, it's like you got this thick boy book, and 5.99 is not the worst anniversary special compared to the big two. Like this would easily be an $8 or $10 book for one of them.
Hmm.
But it's just, 5 pages of that, and then the two additional front and back pages are just showing the alternate covers. So it's like we're looking at 7 whole pages in this book. It's just not story.
Yeah.
So that's pretty annoying. But anyway, I did love the story. It was really good. Um, I did get, I'll hold them up so you can see because I thought they were just super awesome. This was the 1 in 10, which I did get. It looks just like a
Hmm.
Sega game, box art.
Yeah.
And then the 1 in 25 I did not get, but it's all pixel art.
Dude,
And
that's
it's like,
rad.
man, if I can find that at like C2E2 for, 20,
Yeah.
$30, I might jump on that.
I mean, I think you have pretty good luck like 2 years from now too. You know what I mean? Like when it's like,
Hmm.
oh, it hasn't sold yet, we might as well just put it in our big bin of variants that we can't sell type thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Nice, dude.
Okay. Batman Full Moon number 2. I'll show you the black and white cover again because it's just
That is
super
awesome.
cool. It's by Rodney Barnes with art by Devon Subich. Again, art's pretty cool. It's very much Andrea Sorrentino, where like I'll be honest, most of the dudes pretty fucking ugly in this art style. But we're looking at like, Langstrom, Constantine, and Alfred. So it's like, okay, I get that they're not going to be
I mean,
total
Alfred
studs,
should
right?
be a total stud, but other than that,
Yeah, right. Um, but no, it's cool. Zatanna tries to separate Bruce and the werewolf and like the spirit realm, which is cool, but also doesn't work. And there's a lot of jabs between Bruce and Constantine in this because Bruce is dating Zatanna in this universe. Um, so that was pretty funny. But half the book is just Bruce trying to use Alfred and Kirk to come up with a cure, and the other half is their werewolf of the story at that church that took him in, just being like, could God really forgive me for what I've done as a werewolf? And like the sister trying to help him through that. And gave me a lot of Daredevil vibes, which was
that's what I
cool.
was just thinking about.
Yeah, I really liked that. And then, of course, there's a full moon, and so Batman turns, and also the guy in the church basement turns. And apparently they're like, when they're in werewolf form, they can kind of sense one another. So they go at each other, and it ends with both of them facing each other down and howling at the moon, which it's like, it's cool. But the last issue ended with Batman versus the werewolf with Man Bat bursting through a window. And then we're just past that at the start of this issue.
I hate that so much.
So do I, because that's a fight I really, really, really want to see.
Hmm.
So that was a bummer. But one thing that's cool, you won't really be able to see it. Uh, Batman or Bruce is driving in the Batmobile and he's talking to Alfred, and Alfred's like, "Sir, I implore you to return to the Batcave." And Batman's like, I gotta see this through, Alfred. He's like, but Master Wayne, and then Bruce hangs up the phone and he says, I'll beat this. But as he's saying that, only his eyes are turning,
Oh,
which
that's
is
cool.
really cool. And then when he fully turns, he bursts out of the Batmobile, which just looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, hopefully the start of next issue, we actually get to see these werewolves fight, especially since one is in like the half torn Batman costume and it would just
Yeah.
look awesome. So I'm gonna give it a 9. Like it's a really fucking good book. It just bugs me about the fight thing.
Yeah, and the next issue is gonna start with like them both recovering, and Batman's like, "Yeah, that was a hell of a fight."
Dude, and I'll be so mad. Okay, one more. Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, number 2 by Jed McKay and Alessandro Cappuccio. Um, I don't really understand the full extent of 8 Ball, like his gadgets, I guess, because there's one point where Moon Knight, Hunter's Moon, and 8 Ball are trying to stop this car that's got drug dealers for the glitter drug in it. And 8 Ball pops out and he says, corner pocket. And he uses his pool's cue to just like tap the bumper of this car, and the car just fucking flips and flies and lands. And I'm like, okay, that's so goofy. And 8 Ball says, you think they're still alive? And Moon Knight's like, didn't you used to pull that gag when you were a supervillain, 8 Ball? He says, oh man, so many times. Moon Knight's like, yeah, nobody died then, did they? And he goes, oh, and then they both just stop and look at each other. And then Hunter's Moon swoops in and starts conversation again. But man, I thought that was
That's hilarious.
hilarious.
That is great.
Uh, so anyway, the guy that's like the mob boss that's distributing this glitter shit is hiring people that's tried to kill Moon Knight before to take him down again. So in this issue, it's the Cubist, who I'd never heard of. Uh, kind of like a Count Vertigo, just kind of makes people lose spatial awareness and depth perception and stuff like that. I'd never, I don't think I'd ever seen this villain before, but anyway, yeah. One little piece at the start of the book is Moon Knight's talking to Iron Man about the drug, and he's like, well, I'm not really a chemist, but the best chemist I know is Hank Pym. But unfortunately, he's dead. Uh, and then you cut to the end, and Mark's talking to Greer. He's like, hey, I've been meaning to tell you, Hank Pym's not actually dead. She's like, what? How do you know? Apparently the miniseries Avengers Inc., which was like Janet trying to figure out something. Do you remember that miniseries? It was out like last year.
Not really, no. I've
Okay.
most of the Avengers stuff I just kind of glaze over when you
Same.
know.
But anyway, apparently you find out Hank's not dead in that. And he was weird about telling Greer that because apparently they were a thing.
Hmm.
Uh, so he was like, you called him the father of your child. So I don't know if they actually had a child or if he was just like a stepdad to Greer's kid. But anyway, he's like, Hank Pym is alive, and then it's to be continued. So, really good book. Probably my pick of the week. And I really don't have any reason not to give it a 10. So I'll give it a
Right
10.
on. All right, man. What order do you want to do these old bad boys in?
I picked last time. You tell me.
All right, Godzilla Rivals, Minor Arcana, The Question, The Moon is Following Us, Batman Robin, Wolverine Daredevil.
You got it.
All right, so we will start with Godzilla Rivals, King Ghidorah versus Space Godzilla. This is by Dave Baker with Kevin Anthony Catalan on the art. And I don't hate the art, and I like the story. There's parts with the arts I'm like, ugh, you kind of rushed on this, but then other parts where I'm like, this is good.
Hmm.
But what do you think, man?
Yeah, I actually like the art quite a bit. Colors are really good too.
Hmm.
Um, the human stuff again, a little, there's just too much of it in the beginning.
Yeah, see, I thought it was a fine amount because like you got to get some human stuff with Godzilla,
You do.
and it was way more captivating than oh these at Atlantis politics that we're dealing with, you know, that type of bullshit.
It's
I
just
didn't,
I just counted. It's 14 pages before you get to some real proper fighting. So like I didn't hate the human stuff. I was just like I'm reading it. I'm like, "Okay, can we please get to the fucking fight?"
yeah, um,
And then when Godzilla showed up, it was fucking awesome. Like a
yeah.
really I just think that that was a cool panel.
My problem with the Godzilla design though is they're going more GMK with it and like with the white eyes and stuff, and that's not a nice Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, you remember GMK? They had all the other you know, like the white eyes, and they had all those other monsters fighting him because he's the fucking evil. And then this
Mm-hmm.
one's like, oh yeah, no, this is a nicer Godzilla. So just that wasn't the best decision in my opinion.
Sure. No, I get that. Um, I'm so torn on Space Godzilla being too ridiculous and also a fucking cool character design. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah. No, I do think it's pretty rad. And I think the fight scenes between him and Ghidorah were great too. And then
hmm
obviously it just got better whenever Godzilla joined the fight. So, no, it
Yeah.
was dope.
Yeah, it was nice that I think this is the final issue of the Rival series, which I'm more than happy with.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's perfect. I think this is a great way to end it because it's a good ending issue.
Yeah, I think based on what you've said about previous issues, like this had to have been the best one, or at least close to it.
It's for sure close. I had one, I think it was like Mecha got I don't fucking remember because there's been so many weird ones where it's like Ibra versus Mothra. You're like, what?
And
But
then neither are in it.
yeah. Um but I think it was like Mech or it might have been uh blank on his name. I have his figure over there. But Mogira versus somebody. And that one I think was pretty good. And there's been a few others that were like good, and this is on the good side. Most of them were shit though, and not worth the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean $8 is not cheap. I mean that's potentially two DC books or Marvel, depending on the book.
Yeah.
But
And there's that one that was super bad. It was a Mecha I think it was a Mecha Godzilla one. And it was like impressively bad because they didn't even do backgrounds. They just had it like blue
hmm
or whatever. I'm like, and like the monsters didn't even look good. I'm like, that's the worst part too. It's like if you're not taking the time to do backgrounds, at least make the monsters look better than what you and me could do.
hmm
It's like it's about on par, but I'm feeling like an 8 on it. I thought it was good. It's about what you want.
Yeah, I think an 8 is fine. All right. Minor Arcana, number 3. It's by Jeff Lemire. And I think the series just gets a little better with each issue, man.
This
I
one,
like this one. It's just Jeff Lemire likes to do stories where the main character is just going through some shit and like she's really not super likable, but she does certain things that redeems herself a little bit.
yeah, she's
Uh
not likable at all up until like the very end, and even that is
uh-huh.
kind of like twisting her arm about it.
Yeah, for sure. But I still really like it, and I just know that the weird factor is going to get ramped up in the next issue or so, and it'll just keep getting better.
Yeah, I was okay with this, but man, I just don't like her. Like
Hmm.
that's the main thing that drags me away from it. It's like it's hard to want to keep reading a book with such an unlikable character. I'm like, she's gonna get better. Like that's what I have to keep telling myself because it's just like, wow, how can you be such an ass?
Yep.
But where are you at with it, man?
Mm, 7.
That's actually what I was feeling too. All right. So the question, All Along the Watchtower, issue 1 by Alex Segura and Cian Tormey. Is that how you'd say it?
Uh, so I looked it up.
Okay.
Kian.
Cian Tormey.
Yep.
And the art is very good and it's good. One thing I'm going to mention that I really liked, it kind of gave me, you remember the Countdown book where it was Ted Cord where he got shot in the head?
Hmm.
So this gave me vibes of that in that it's like this is like a D-list, C-list character being around, the different characters. And normally that's like nothing when you read like a normal comic book where it's like Green Lantern, it's like, yeah, he's around them all the time. With her, it's like the way she's talking about each of them, it's a lot cooler, because it's like, oh yeah, this is a god. Like she sees, goes flying with Superman. Oh yeah, he's a god, literal god. And then when she talks about Wonder Woman and whatnot, and it's really good. And we get
Yep.
some Ted Cord. I don't I don't like the way Jaime is drawn. He looks like he's older than Ted Cord.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I enjoyed it. Uh yeah, I mean, what'd you think, man?
Yeah, I liked it. There was one thing I didn't care for. And so Superman comes down and like he's like, let's go for, a fly. And he explains everything to her. The next fucking page, Wonder Woman's there and she explains all of it again
Hmm.
in the same way. It's like, okay, we didn't need that back to back.
Yeah.
I just don't know why it was written that way. But other
I
than that, hmm,
I was just gonna say I could see that happening in real life though. It's like, yeah, this Superman has it, and then Wonder Woman's like, yeah, this is, and she's like, fuck, I know. God.
yeah, but then have her say that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like she's hearing it for the first time on back-to-back pages. But anyway, I like that her team uh, are the two Blue Beetles. I think that's pretty dope. And then obviously there's going to be some conflict with her ex-girlfriend, Batwoman. Um, but I think it's neat. I think it's a neat idea. I uh, I like the concept. I like the art. I'm on board for the next issue.
Yep. My one complaint is so I'm a fan of like the weird 90s characters because that's kind of where I when I grew up reading. And this dude that pops in, blank on his name. I remember seeing him all the time when I was a kid because he was like a 90s Superman villain, Conduit. And so she goes like, "Oh, I'm I'm out of his league," which sounds like she's saying she's tougher than a Superman villain,
Yep,
which she isn't.
agreed.
Which I'm like, that's pretty stupid.
I
Um,
remember having to read it twice. I'm like, wait, did she mean that she's out of his league? I was like, oh, nope,
yeah,
she thinks she's better than him.
yeah. So it's kind of, like that was dumb to me because he's way tougher than her. That's just all there
Hmm.
is to it.
Hmm.
And then, the murder on the last page, I'm interested in seeing where it goes. But yeah, that's really my main knock is like, yeah, if someone can fight Superman, they're gonna beat the crap out of Question and
Yeah,
Fire and Hawk.
yep. But yeah, I'm probably at an 8.
I'm feeling 8.5. Like I said, really liked it. Jaime's looking like he's 50 and Conduit, no Conduit respect. What's next? They're gonna make old Gangbuster lame.
I think with Jaime, it's just the lighting. Like they wanted that
Yeah.
room to look dark, but then all it does is like gray his hair a little bit, and it's like, that doesn't look great.
Yeah, they still should have been able to be like, oh yeah, he's a teenager, not
Yeah.
1,000.
All right, The Moon is Following Us number 3 by Daniel Warren Johnson and Riley Rossmo. Solid book, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Really good. Like it's one of those nice things too, where it's like I don't know where the hell this is going, but the whole ride I'm enjoying.
Same. I like the characters. I like all the weird shit. that you see in the background, like her favorite toys coming to life.
Hmm.
Uh, it's just a goofy, weird sci-fi fantasy book, but
Yep.
yeah, that's all there is to it, really. You're
Yeah,
either reading it or you're not, right?
yeah, like
So,
you really should be reading it. I think it's really good. It's really interesting, really cool. Might be better collected, but yeah, I really, really like it.
yeah, I'm at a 8.5, I think.
I'm at a 9. All right. Batman Robin Year One by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. Now, really quick, if this is bad, it's not Mark Waid's fault, guys. Just so you know, he came out and said because of the election results, he can't find goodness in people anymore, and it's gonna make his comics worse. So if this is shit, it's because of the election. Oh Lord, the big drama queen.
Well, did it affect his work, Casey?
I mean, if it did, I hope it keeps affecting his work because this was awesome, I thought.
Yeah, I liked it a lot better than the first issue.
One of the one of my favorite parts. So there's a caseworker that shows up at the Wayne Manor, and like while she goes in to see Dick, he like does a big backflip, and he's like performing and stuff, and the lady's like, "Is this typical behavior?" He's like, "I'm shocked as you, and no, I do not approve." And then like he does the why yada, and that gave me a good chuckle.
Yeah. Art is just killer in
Oh
this.
yeah, like Chris Samney might draw a perfect Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
Just gonna toss that out there.
Yep. But he gets lighting in this,
Hmm.
he gets uh his inks are just killer. I mean, the very, very low light in many of the panels, and I don't know. I just love it. It's
Yep.
awesome.
It's great. And then like this picture here too is great because it like kind of shows because Batman mentions how the Batcave spread throughout Gotham and this kind of shows that and it
Yeah.
does it in such a good way. Like yeah, he does like Mark add like that whole thing with the Batcave stuff. Like I don't really think that's been touched on really much prior to this as far as I know and I think that's great. I think that's really smart and so like Mark added different things with little lore bits and then plus Alfred's in it. And we don't
Hmm.
get that anymore.
Yep. Even though we should.
Yep.
I also really liked um oh, where is it? Oh yeah, like this guy that got burned is like in horrible shape, and Batman's like, "Tell me how this happened so you can die with a clear conscience." And then the guy does. I just thought that was
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, like you're gonna be okay, or we're gonna get you out of here. He's like, "Nope, you're dying, but if you want to die a good man, tell me."
Hmm.
But yeah, it was awesome. It's probably a solid 9 for me.
Yeah, I'm feeling probably a 9.5. I really, really liked it. I don't have too much to complain about. The only thing that kind of drug for me was some of the Two-Face stuff with the other dude. Like that stuff, it wasn't near as captivating as everything else, so it kind of brought me down. But otherwise, no, this was damn near perfect for me.
Right. Is it your pick of the week?
Probably not. Probably gonna be one of these next two.
Cool. All right, so we've got Wolverine #3 by Saladin Ahmed and Martin Kokolo, who also did this insanely awesome cover.
Hmm.
Boy, is it good. I'll hang it up there for those that are watching. Um, but yeah, dude, this was like second place for my pick of the week. I mean,
Yes.
it's just so good
So
in
like
all aspects.
Saladin Ahmed, like watch out. He's gonna be winning awards this year.
Hmm. And if not,
He's
it's rigged.
well, I mean, we're the ones rigging it, so he's gonna be winning them. But yeah, no, it's so good. The art's amazing. The character work is great. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm curious if there's anyone that's like a huge Wendigo fan that's like, I don't care much for this version of Wendigo, you know? But
Yeah. Well, I think he does a good job letting us know in each issue that this is not your typical Wendigo.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to teach the Wendigo that, you're gonna have to live like this, but here's what you can do to not want to kill people all the time. It's pretty awesome.
I wonder, so I read a Hulk, I mean, if this was a Jeff Loeb Hulk comic, so the continuity of it, he didn't pay too much attention to the actual proper rules, but there was an issue where the Wendigos were all in um Las Vegas and like a bunch of the heroes got turned into them too. I don't remember how and I don't remember why, but it's like how like can they get on because they all got unturned. Is it just because like they beat the Wendigo that turned them? Like, see, Wolverine mentioned like, oh, scratch or bite or whatever. It's like, is that how? And that wouldn't affect him, the kid, or is it a different way? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know the rules. It's
Yeah,
probably just whatever the writer wants at the
yeah,
time.
right. It's like Benjamin Percy will be like, ah, he actually left Canada and saw a shaman, and now he's no longer a Wendigo. There we go.
Yeah. But I really don't have anything bad to say. At the end, Cyber goes and finds Lady Deathstrike and makes her adamantium gold as well. So and this reminds me, you remember Freakazoid?
Yeah. Which episode?
So there's the episode with there's a villain called the Golden Beaver, and the guy like the townspeople are like, everything was great till you started turning all of our beavers into gold. And that is what pops up here, but with
Yeah.
adamantium. So uh but yeah, I like this a lot. It's probably a solid 9.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably lean towards a 10 and might be my pick of the week. It's just gonna depend on how I feel when we talk Daredevil.
Yeah.
All right, so Daredevil by Saladin Ahmed with Luigi Zagaria on the art, and then we get this cover, which I'm gonna call a 7 from 20. Uh,
Oh boy. It's
but
just so bad.
yeah, it's not good. And yeah, it picks up where it left off, unlike Jake's werewolf comic, because we actually get to see the dead PI. It'd been crazy to like, oh man, we beat him. We beat the demon. But yeah, so they're talking, Elektra and Daredevil are talking and stuff, and we get this guy talking to a shadowy figure and stuff, and then Matt has a nice talk with his preacher pal, which I really, really like that part.
It was the
And
best part of the book, I think.
yeah, I agree. And it's all because it's like it's exactly what I was thinking too, where it's just like, okay, you think God's punishing you after letting you out of hell by letting other demons out of hell to make everyone else's life miserable. It's like, are you stupid?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just like, I'm glad that that's what was said. And I'm like so curious on how that end happened, like, or what's going to happen next.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I really, really like that. Um,
Also, Zagaria's art is a lot like Aaron Cooter's art.
mhm.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe the coloring or something, but it's like, dude, this could just be Aaron Cooter's art.
Yeah. It's like I think we've mentioned this before, but it gives me vibes of like the New 52 Wonder Woman where they had like a real like the guest artist very similar to the main
Yep.
artist, so it's not like it doesn't really, jar you like it does normally.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm probably at a 10 for this one too. And I'll give this my pick of the week because I do love Daredevil, but it's great. Just great time. Y'all should be reading it.
And I'm gonna give it a 9 instead of a 9.5 for the John Romita Jr. cover.
All right, man. What are you excited for?
Um, I'm gonna go with Justice League Unlimited, Nightwing, and then Absolute Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah.
It's a small week being a holiday, but there's still some pretty good stuff out, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Batman Long Halloween last Halloween. Um, the Frankenstein and Superman, I guess, because I don't want to do any doubles.
Cool.
And then now to finish up on you know, Thanksgiving time, give me four comics or just nerd things in general you're just thankful for.
Sure. I like three of these are going to be comics because I too late read or nerd things. And I was like, oh shit, well, I'll do one thing that's not a comic. But I'm going to go with Moon Knight just because it's been so consistently awesome since Jed McKay took over. And Moon Knight hadn't been that good in a little bit, in my opinion. Uh, I'm also gonna say Plastic Man No More, just because holy shit, what a surprise it is how good that fucking book is. And that's been nice lately. I'm trying to do like recent stuff that I'm thankful for. And I'm gonna say the X books, um, just because I've never really read too many X books, and now I'm reading three of them, four of them, so that's pretty cool. Soon to be five. And
God
then
damn.
I know. And then I want to say Pokemon, whether if it's the card game, collecting cards, playing any of the games. There's a new one out in January as well for the Switch. It's just a good time to be a Pokemon fan.
What's the new one's name gonna be?
So 2 years ago, they did that Legends Arceus game.
Hmm.
So this one's Legends ZA for Zygarde,
Oh, okay.
and
Which,
it's all going to take place. This I think is cool. It's all going to take place in one city from Black and White.
oh, okay.
So it's going to be like the city's fucking huge, and I think that's going to be like a pretty neat idea.
Yeah. Hmm. Nice, man. How
Yep.
can you catch Pokemon in the city though if there's no tall grass?
Gonna.
Okay. Fair enough.
We'll just have to see how it
Yeah.
goes.
You're like, dude, it fucking sucks. I just have my starter. That's it. For me, I'm gonna go with just Salad and Ahmed, just in general. I want
Yep.
him to do more stuff because, boy, howdy,
Come to
he's good.
DC.
Yeah,
Give him a
dude,
DC book.
hop on Batman. Why not?
Yeah.
Um, and then I'll say Godzilla Skate or Die. That was just a quite a lovely book. I mean, for after all the shitty ones that IDW was making, that one was good, really
Yeah.
good. And I'm gonna say just Godzilla shit in general. We're getting good stuff now, man. And I'll say the stuff that their DC's finally doing right with Superman. Enjoying
Hmm.
that, even though sounds like probably won't be enjoying it much longer when Dan Slott pops in.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if that's a mainstream Superman book or if he just gets like a maxi series or
Yeah.
something.
Speaking of Superman books that we don't hear anything about anymore, uh, whenever that quote from Mark Wade, that you sent me, I was reading some different stuff about Mark, and then they're like, someone was like being kind of shitty on the comments, and they're like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna do another book about Lex Luthor killing Superman and then just stop doing it?" I'm like, and I thought about like, holy shit, that was like a year ago, and we haven't gotten anything else about it.
Yeah. He's like blown up and doing so many things for DC,
Hmm.
but not that thing.
Yeah, it's like the one thing I'm super passionate about, and it's like, oh nope.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Lots of good stuff. Lots to be
Hmm.
thankful for if you're just a comic nerd or a nerd in general. So,
Let us know what you guys are thankful for,
yeah.
and if it's not this podcast, you're blocked.
Just kidding. We need you. But all right, guys, that's the end of the episode. We hope you all have a very happy, safe, fun Thanksgiving, and we'll be back next week with another one. So we'd love to stay in chat, but we have to fill all your cute little tummies this Thanksgiving. So we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.